Meet 123 Agency, a fresh, innovative booking agency that's only been in the game for 4 years, yet already boasts names like Tash Sultana, The Belligerents, and Kingswood among their dynamic and diverse roster. With an eye on change and a mindset that sees them working creatively alongside their artists and not just for them, we were keen to meet a few of those faces behind the firm to see what makes this agency tick.
We're kind of, we're coming on to 5 years old, and it started with a laptop with a great idea, but everything that's happened here has been a small step in our evolution, and to get to 5 years, I didn't even think we'd get to 5 months,
I like the fact that we're working with live music. It's really the kind of the last thing that you can't download. Like no one's downloading a gig, which is really cool.
Finding those new acts that just want to get their start and are making cool music and just need to be heard more.
So we are Team Corporate.
So we just work alongside each other with all the inquiries that come through, jobs that come through.
If you're involved right from the start and you're seeing a band play to a handful of people and then a couple of hundred people and then a couple of thousand people, that's got to be the most enjoyable part of the job.
I remember maybe like 2-3 years ago I flew up to Sydney on my own merit and I saw a band, Trophy Eyes, and they were literally playing to about 50 people and they were a burnt out band. And then I worked closely with their manager as well. We had a good plan, strategy in place, and then not long after that they played the Metro supporting the Amity Affliction, and literally 10 months later they pre-sold out the Metro in the same room. Like literally from a band, doing 50 people to like 18 months later, 1,200 people. That was just like, wow.
So we've got that real kind of direct-to-artist involvement. We've got a constant dialogue with like a lot of the publicists aiding what they're doing. And, we'll get on the phone to some people at radio or media and give them a little bit of a word up if we've got a relationship there as well.
And the same with Ocean Alley as well was another one. I worked really hard for that band for quite a while too, getting as many opportunities as they can. They were doing 300 cat rooms, 200 cat rooms when I first started working with them. And now they pre-sold out their first Metro in 3 days, and they're going to be looking to do like 2,500 cat rooms next year.
We do really well with acts that aren't on the radio at all.
We're really kind of plugged into a lot of alternative means of discovery that audiences out there are having.
Streaming 5 years ago was a pipe dream, and now it's the biggest and most hopeful avenue for artists to make money.
And people are pitching to playlists as though they're radio, which has kind of changed the game a little bit.
And because we're independent and quite agile, that's been a really amazing way to do things,
Obviously seeing somebody like Tash grow from busking through to the massive rooms that she's doing in the space of the last couple of years has been amazing.
I have seen and witnessed amazing artists that have literally started with nothing and gone on to create millions, and they didn't need millions of dollars of investment. They just had great ideas or had honed their skills so much.
Tash Sultana is obviously the biggest example of that. She was sitting on 3 sold-out corners in Melbourne before Triple J added a song. Like Pierce Brothers are another example, and they sell out like a 170 Russell in Melbourne, which is like 1,000 capacity room. Tash built her fan base busking. Pierce Brothers did the same. We've got a new act, Ruben Stone, who's doing some really cool things, and he's built a significant following through the busking thing as well. So 123 can pick a busker.
We have a really great space. Where we work is part of the Commons, and it's a really inspirational place.
I'm mostly excited about coming into work for the office culture.
It's not just head down and work, there's room to have a bit of fun with it.
And it's not like 6 o'clock hits and you all run out the door. We all hang around, and everyone we work with is just great.
I mean, the most exciting fact is actually having a space where people like to work. It's got natural light. We can chill out, we can have meeting zones, there's coffee on tap, there's beer on tap, there's breakfast every morning, there's apples and there's cookies. And the whole thing behind that is to just have a place where people cannot complain. There's a culture of we work hard and we play hard, That creates a really great culture for our artists, because if we sat around here every day and checked in, checked out, then we'd get no results, and that's clearly not what we do. So
every act that I work with, I reckon I've got I believe that I've got a good relationship with them, and it's great to talk business and whatnot too, but the thing that I enjoy the most is actually catching up, having a beer, having a yarn with them and just talking and hanging out with them, not necessarily about music.
The Stonefield Girls or Kingswood or Delta Riggs, some of my favourite peoples in the world, I can ring them up and go have beers with them, and some of them are having babies now and all that sort of thing. So to see them go from young men that, that don't know how to find $100 to now to being fairly successful and big records under their belts and creating families and stuff, that's an amazing thing to watch, you know.
Got some really strong friendships of some of the bands I work with. I even let stay at my house occasionally, you know.
I suppose it's more about the evolution of all of us, and just, I suppose, yeah, it's hard to encapsulate because there's so many things that kind of go through our walls and space, I suppose.
It's not necessarily about music at the end of the day, it's about working with people that you get on with, and I think we have a really massive family community vibe. You know, I think a lot of our artists actually get on with each other, like different genres. Doesn't really matter. They all become, you know, there's a good community that we become friends and whatnot too. Where we've worked, like from day dot to where we are now, a lot of our agents do wear their heart on their sleeves as well, and they're like very, very emotionally invested with all of our acts, and you know, they really want to hit the ground running and do best for the artist, and not just necessarily book a show and do nothing, is actually help promoting them and, you know, looking out for the best interests of the band.